Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Dunder Snuff, welcome. So I know where my painting dad is, yes. Hope you do. My draw. What's going on, man? What's going on? Weaver, how you doing? What's going on, everybody? We're just gonna jump in and start painting. You guys wait till Greenleaf Terrain Studios comes into stream. It's truly unhinged then. I'm going to just start off today's stream. We're going to grab some bright gold. And I'm just going to start highlighting all the gold on these 3 minis that I'm working on, these 3 sergeants. My goal is to finish these 3 today. So I'll be real happy if I can finish these 3. Yeah, and maybe a little start on a Centurion or something. We'll see. We're just doing a bit of a highlight. Nothing too crazy. How you guys doing this morning? And per the title, I want to hear good gaming stories here. I guess they don't have to necessarily be good, as long as they're entertaining. But I'm more than happy to share some of my own. Also, people who have been here for a while probably think I'm just repeating stories, but stress and can't start focusing on work for some reason. Just take the day off. You don't need to mess with that. Work's not supposed to be stressful. Wish I could. Yeah. That's too bad. A tabletop story? Fine. Here's a story about Lord of the Rings Risk. Oh, nice. Man, I always wanted that Risk, and I never got it. I missed my chance. I want to hear, yeah, let's hear from Jonathan on YouTube. Let's hear a good Lord of the Rings Risk story. Buddy of mine has it. After we finish Cursed City, we plan on putting some time on that. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Needed this to relax your mind. Well, good, man. Good. We're gonna chill. We're gonna share some fun stories. We're gonna paint some Thousand Suns today. Be a good time. Alright, here we go. YouTube story about Lord of the Rings Risk. When I was in about 6th grade, played a game of Lord of the Rings Risk with my dad and 2 of the teenagers from his youth group. My dad and 1 teen versus me and the other. Okay, alright. I want to know whose sides you were playing. Were you guys on the good side or the evil side? No. Blue has a story on YouTube here. His story is his greatest gaming story is just from last weekend. Said I finally took my first W in 40k last weekend. Misplayed the line a bit, but the Hellblasters shooting out of some ruins in the center of the battlefield were champions. Yeah, man, you just post them up in the middle of the board and dare your opponent to come after him. That's what it sounds like what happened. Nicely done. Alright, Lord of the Rings. We'd been getting it handed to us all night until finally my dad called it a night. My partner the same. I played against my dad's partner for the next 3 hours, slowly clawing back. That's epic. Alright, sweet Blue. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the full like after action report of that 40k game. I have a good Risk story too. I'll have to tell you guys in a little bit. Not as cool as Lord of the Rings Risk, whatever it is. Risk is great. We play Risk not frequently, but we play it occasionally in our house with my 8-year-old son. He loves Risk. The longest part of it's the setup. The actual game doesn't take super long. We've been playing Warhammer 40k Risk, which is not great. I would not recommend it. So, yeah, just missing rules. The rulebook is literally just missing rules. Alright, so finally the decisive moment was a massive battle at Moria. I had thrown much of my army into this risk. I rolled well, he rolled poorly, I won the battle and split my dad and partner's armies. Okay. Yeah, don't buy Warhammer 40k Risk. It really is a very poorly made game. I hate to say it. We've played it probably half a dozen times now, and I kind of dread it every time at this point, but my son likes it because it has Warhammer, but we have to make up rules. Like they give you you have like commander pieces, and they give you the commander pieces and then they don't tell you anything about them. Like, hey, here's your commander, and they're like, oh, you get the bonus when your commander's in the territory. But then they don't tell you, like, when do you place your commander? What happens when your commander is like killed or the last one in the thing? Does he count as an army or not? Like, they don't tell you any of that. So you're just kind of left like wondering what you do with like the actual mechanic of the game. All right, Warhammer Risk, or Lord of the Rings Risk. By the time morning came, and Dad and the other guy had come back, I had essentially isolated both my dad and his partner from each other. Another 5 hours, and we crushed my dad in mortar. Nice. Is beating Dad in the board game like the ultimate like satisfaction? Is that like the gaming moment we all crave? My dad's still a menace when he plays board games. I'll beat him now when we play. We'll play board games with my son and my nieces and everything, and my dad will join in, and he just tries so hard to be a menace. But all the kids are like get grandpa, and so they all gang up on him, and it makes it fun. I basically defeated 2 people by myself in that game, and in one game I finally defeated my dad in a strategy game after years of trying. Yeah, that's awesome. Was it like Pride? Like shedding a single tear, and then he's like, son, you finally become a man. The moment where the master is surpassed by the apprentice. Yeah, yep. Painting Son does surprisingly well in board games. We've been playing board games with him. Like, we play all kinds of crazy board games with him since he was practically, 2-3 years old or something. So, he's got a good board game brain in him. Good, like, strategy brain. Painting Son's problem is he's kind of a sore winner and a sore loser. So it's something we work on. We talk about, like, your words can be unkind even if you're winning, More like utter disbelief as he watched the game crumble around him and couldn't do anything about it. That's great. Not a gaming story, but it's kind of funny. My husband plays Astra Militarum, and he happened to have an extra token for their explosive rover. Oh yeah, little is it a centaur? What is that little thing? So he took some green stuff, a wrench, and 2 of my spare Nurglings, and made a Nurgle go-kart model the same size for Nurglings, so I can use it in my Nurgle swarm. Oh, that's great. That's adorable. That's awesome. I will say one of the best things to play with kids are co-op games. And fortunately, there is a ton of cooperative board games out there anymore. Um, as a family, it's a lot of fun to have a, like, we're in this together kind of moment. And when the game beats you, it's just kind of like, well, yeah, and it beat us. Like, we tried our best and we lost. And, I think it reduces the hurt feelings a lot. And everybody kind of gets excited with the exciting moments. It's not like one person has like a really good turn and in turn it makes someone else really upset. So I'm bored, I quit. Oh man, yeah. So Painting Wife would do that playing Warhammer Risk, but she did the first few times because she did not want to play. She didn't care for it at all. Didn't want to play it. Didn't want to bother trying. So she would just kind of suffer through and like kind of try to lose and everything, and just be kind of like, I'm bored. Now she plays and she really tries, and I think, did she win? No, wait. Yeah, maybe she did. She may have. I think she won the last time we played. I can't remember if she won or if Painting Sun destroyed her before she could get the final objective or something. The Pokemon TCG last night to prep for a pre-release event on Sunday. Oh, nice. Okay. So you're getting her to play, or she's wanting to play Pokemon? Alright, we got the gold on this guy. Let's get to the next one. Alright, so when it was my freshman year of college, the school I went to was pretty small, and it had kind of a weird living situation. So it was a very small school. They had one dorm, or they had two dorms, and both of them were like overcrowding. So they literally bought like mobile homes, like trailers, and had people live in mobile homes. Not really relevant to the story, I guess, but a lot of my friends that I had made my first semester there lived in, they're all like roommates in one of these like mobile homes that were just off the, I don't know, a short walk from the dorms. Weird situation, but made friends with these guys. They were all a great group of dudes. And my second semester, one of my best friends from my childhood started going to school, and at the same school, and we became roommates. So, my friends kind of became his friends through the group. And one night they decided to have a board game night and play Risk, because I guess they really like to play Risk. And I was like, sweet, I love Risk. Let's get in on this. I was a big fan of Warhammer. And like, yeah, Risk is kind of my jam for a game. So we played Risk. Well, before they set up the game, before we all met, some of the friends, they met me, and they had all been there for, a year or so they were a little older than me, and knew some of the people. They said, hey, just want to let you know, this one guy, and this one guy that's going to be playing with us, he's kind of weird. We invited him anyway. We're being nice, but I just want to let you know, he's a really, really sore loser. Like, the moment he starts losing, he's going to go ballistic and, like, freak out. So I just want to let you guys know, like, let you know that, if we're going to play, like, this is bound to happen. And I was like, okay, whatever, that's fine. So, and mind you, back in, like, 2008. Okay, so we start the game, and me and my friend / roommate sitting across the table from each other, and I was like, hey, maybe I'm gonna text my buddy here and see if we team up, we make an alliance, and we go after the sore loser guy first. Let's do that. And this was like, texting wasn't like as big, and I feel like it was just like started, so it wasn't just like obvious that you would just like text your friend across the table to strategize. So We were making secret plans. Also, probably, like, I feel like that would be against the rules anymore in, like, a board game to do that. Like, if you're going to discuss things, you do it openly, right? But, so we decide we're going to team up, we're going to destroy this dude, and then we'll destroy everybody else, and then we'll kind of split the world how we want. And go after each other. So that's what we do. So 2 turns into the game, we just destroy this guy, and we're not communicating at all with each other, like, verbally. You know, it's just like, yeah, it's just like texting, you know, and that's about it. So, so this guy goes ballistic. He goes nuts. He starts throwing things and, like, and getting, like, really upset. Like, dude, you lost, you know? Like, I'm sorry. It was gonna happen eventually. But, you know, yeah, no secret schemer. Yeah. 2025, that's got to be in the rule book somewhere, like, against the rules. But, yeah, so, yeah, he went completely nuts, and after, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, he just kind of stormed out of their apartment or whatever, and was done. But, man, that felt good. Why did that feel so good? Like, beating the guy everybody knew was a sore loser, and just, like, stomping him first, and then proceeding to go on to win without him in the room was really nice. Your dad would show no mercy and acts as an ally, so the sweet victory to finally beat him in some. Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's good stuff. Game Master says the event's pretty chill. Okay, that's good. I'm glad. That's awesome that she's playing doing an event on her own. I thought the Painting Son would get into Pokemon like the card game, but it turns out he just likes the cards. He didn't really care for the game. I wanted to Alpha Leech and betray everyone. Yeah. All games with Mrs. Draw are I don't need to win, but my draw is going to lose. That's incredible, actually, my draw. Yeah, I like that. I like that attitude. Painting Wife gets pretty good at board games. She's got a couple that that, you know, it's a really even split on who's going to win. So I don't think I've ever lost a game. I'm an orc player though. Ah, yeah, makes sense. Okay. How many battles did you have to leave and come back and try again? That might be the more appropriate question for the orc. So I don't remember. Oh yeah, you don't care about losing. Yeah, the whole point is to have fun. You know, you look for the fun moments, the exciting moments, and you enjoy. Also, Gloomy Otter, welcome in. Yeah, you got to find the exciting stuff in the game. So I don't remember the first time I beat my dad in a board game, but I do remember beating my father-in-law in Monopoly. Was it Monopoly? Yeah, so Painting Wife and I had been together for a long time. We actually started dating when we were teenagers, so we were youngins, and I used to go over to her house, to her and her, you know, her parents' house or whatever, and for like New Year's Eve, and mainly because, like, yeah, we weren't like partiers, and her parents just always kind of hung out on New Year's Eve, so we'd go over and chill at her parents' house and like play board games and whatever. So this one year we decided to play Monopoly, and apparently her dad was like the guy that never lost in Monopoly in the house, but it was also like just my wife and her mom that would play against him, so I don't know. Hey, Doc Rose, last day of being 18 years old. Well, congrats and happy birthday. It's all downhill from here, man. I'm sorry to tell you. Set my own self goals besides actually winning, like killing a blood angel, harassing one specific unit. Yeah, that's fun. That's a fun way to do it. Uber Gaming, welcome. It's tomorrow. Well, happy early birthday. So we're playing Monopoly, and yeah, I got on a serious roll and was just steamrolling everybody. And he was actually the first one that I was about to knock out of the game, and he ended up just like getting up and leaving the table and was just so mad. I always thought it was like that was like a proud moment. Making people mad in gaming apparently is something I really look forward to. And then there was also a time that my wife and I beat her parents in euchre, which apparently the two of them are very good euchre players, but yeah, couldn't handle this. My wife didn't even know how to play euchre. We taught her how to play euchre, and then she played on my team when we won. So it was great. Every year from now until you die, you'll get a new gift from your body. Maybe it'll be back pain. Maybe you can't move your arm like that anymore. Maybe you'll get ulcers. Yeah, it's terrible roulette. Yeah, that's aging. Aging in a nutshell. You're like, what's it gonna be this year? Oh, my whole back gets thrown out when I sneeze. Okay. Guess I'll just never sneeze again. Turned 19 a couple months ago and can confirm it's downhill. Oh god, you guys. Made some progress on the Death Guard. Awesome. That's awesome to hear. Yeah. Avelios, let me clarify. There are certain people that I enjoy beating, or I guess making angry playing games. I shared one the other day, the guy I played Armada with that came into just visiting my city and was like, hey, I want some games, and then he ended up being a serious tool. That was another satisfying moment. I mean, you can't eat like you used to because your metabolism's slowing down. Oof, yeah. You 14? And I'm notoriously bad at spelling. My mom, who religiously did crosswords, we loved playing Scrabble, and the first time I won against her, I think I did victory laps around the house. Yeah, that's awesome. So, posting the whip? Sure, I'll go take a look, man. I'm gonna see what you got done here. Let me finish up this gold on this mini. The other night I was playing Minecraft with my son. I don't play Minecraft. I never have, never like got into it, but he asked me to play with him. I was like, yeah, sure, because we found out you can play like multiplayer in that. So we both joined a world, and he's like, you should build a house. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to build the greatest house I could ever build. So I worked on a house for an hour and a half, and now we're going to do it again tonight. So and he wants to decorate rooms in my house, and I said, how about instead of that, because I want to build this house, build a secret tunnel from your house to my house, and we'll connect our basements or something. So that's what he's going to work on this evening, while I continue on with my house. Blocks Bay, welcome in. New to painting, only 3 weeks into painting. Yeah, No, Noob, your minis have looked great. Like 3 weeks into painting is you're doing pretty insane work for just 3 weeks into painting. Yeah, they look great, man. These are great starts here. I think Nurgle is a good faction too, like Death Guard for an early painter, because you're not making mistakes on these minis. But if you were to make some mistakes, like you cover it up with wash, or it's pretty easy to correct, and it can kind of look like it's part of the minis. You even did the plasma pistol, nicely done, man. Good stuff, Noober. Guys, go check out Noober's mini and the whips here. Lots of people posting crazy stuff. All right, we got gold highlighted. Yes, these are Horus Heresy minis I'm painting, and right now I'm working on. I made some veteran sergeants for my Thousand Sons, so they're work in progresses. But these are just sergeants, like for tactical squads. Is what I'm looking at. So they got bolters, a little bit of extra like fancy things. These two guys are throwing magic. That's what I got going. So next, we are going. Do I just do it? Is it the time to do it? I think it might be time to do it. It's the difficult one here. We have another gold we're going to use. We're going to use this white gold. And this white gold, with this white gold, we're going to highlight all of the red. Yeah. You guys ready for this? There's only 3 models, so it shouldn't take too long. But this is this is like the most time-consuming part of these minis. Started painting minis, and found a friend who was in the same niche, and he was so controlling of how I painted my minis and my method to the point where I can't do anything without getting critical. Oh, that's too bad, Fawn. Ugh. Don't paint with that friend. I've been painting minis for a long time, and I remember I was working at a job. It was actually my last like quote unquote real job, and I would talk to Zendro. If you guys know who Zendro is, I would talk to him about painting a lot and stuff. And there was a coworker that I sat next to, who was his pretty weird dude, but we would chat about stuff. He overheard me talking about painting, and he's like, "Oh, what do you paint?" And I told him, like, "Yeah, miniatures and stuff." He's like, "Cool, can I see?" So I showed him a picture, and it was a mini. I'm still really proud of this mini. This was back in like 2021. Like, I can paint way better now, but like, it was a Darth Maul, Star Wars Legion Darth Maul. And I showed it to him. Like, I'd painted the individual face tattoos, and I had the eyes and like the irises and the pupils and everything. And he looks at it, and he's like, "Man, you could have really done better, like going with this color or something." And I was like, "Who is this guy? Like, he's never painted a mini in his life, and he's criticized." Like, I think it's just like bad like social skills, right? Ultimately, but I'm sorry. Is it Fwan? Fwan? How do you pronounce your name? I'm sorry that you had someone that's not encouraging for your hobby. If you want nothing but compliments, and like seriously, I can give out compliments. Post some pictures in the Discord. Post them when you finish. And I love seeing painted minis. I love when people are doing their hobby, when they're, even if it's not just minis, just like kind of anything that you guys have going on. I love to see what creative things you're doing. Yeah, it wasn't Zendro. It wasn't Zendro.
Let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into your home.
LaRose, thank you. Thank you so much for subscribing on YouTube. I appreciate that. 2 weeks into Warhammer lore, and kind of really interesting. I'm thinking about getting my first army. What are you thinking about, Conjuring? Welcome in on, whoa, YouTube. What's going on YouTube right now? We got all kinds of people. don't think I've ever had this many people on YouTube. I do stream on Twitch and YouTube, guys. So if you're wondering like why I'm talking to people who aren't there, that's why. I'll try to read out comments here. Also, what's up, Troy? I see you there. On Sunday we were playing D&D. First roll of the game, all 4 of us players rolled 7 on the dice. Oh wow, that's crazy. Well, I don't know if you guys know this. Do you guys know the odds of shuffling a deck of poker cards the same way twice? Does anybody know the odds of that? What do you think the odds are? Without looking it up. Yeah, it's the demon in my head. Yeah, I'm just talking to demons. Call you LC? Okay, I'll try to remember that. I will. Name? Oh, it's your 2020 name. Okay. Was COVID your fault? Is that what you're saying, or what? Some guy paying 10G for a sword, not an original Japanese online game version? Yeah, it happens. Yep. Faung? Okay. Faung. That's a wild name, alright. Good note, I found a better friend that liked my Pink Gene Stealer Cultist. Pink Gene Stealer Cultist sound perfect. 0.01 100%. Yeah, so if you are shuffling a deck of cards, there is, I don't even want to say a better chance. Like, in all likelihood, there has never been the same combination of like an exact combination of a deck of cards shuffled in the history of cards, like of playing cards. The number is so astronomical, like the odds are like less than the number of grains of sand on the earth, that you'll shuffle a deck of cards and they end up with the same cards all in the same spot. Like, not twice in a row. I'm just saying from another hand that has also existed in the history. Okay, it's supposed to be one syllable, so fung. Kind of like that. Like, I'm sorry if I'm an idiot. Like, I try. I want to pronounce name. Yep. 52 with the exclamation point. I can't remember the math term for that, but it is a wild number. Hell, brutes are terrifying. Yeah. Space Marine Salamander Army. Yeah. 52 factorial. Yeah. Yeah, the odds are that no 2 poker decks have ever been the same after they've been shuffled. It's pretty crazy. Fun. Okay. Kind of like fun. I'll put a little G on the end. Is that appropriate? Welcome in, guys. I'm the Painting Dad. If you're new here, just I welcome. You know. I just hang out and I paint minis. I'm trying to do this every weekday, at least this month. I mean, we'll see what the world holds for me, but I'm having fun doing this. I'm a full-time commissioned painter. You know, full-time, I guess, loosely at this point. But these are my own minis. These are Horus Heresy minis. These are my Thousand Sons. So I'm a huge Thousand Sons fanboy when it comes to the Heresies. So I have a lot of them, and I'm working through just my my pile of potential is what we call it. So my unpainted pile of minis. And the main thing is my Saturnine box, which is the 3rd edition starter set. Gene Stealers are awesome. They're a great army. Yeah. LC, my son, he's almost 9. He's not quite 9. He's young, but he is all into Space Marines, and Salamanders are his like thing. Which Salamanders are probably like a easy second choice for me for Space Marines, so I get it. Yeah, guys, we gotta be encouraging in this hobby. Yeah, I do have a Discord. If you want to share your work, you jump into the Discord and um, yeah, say hi, show off the stuff. Let me know if you share something you want me to look at while I'm on stream. I don't watch videos while stream is going on, but I will. I'll take a look at pictures and I'll be more than happy to check out whatever cool things you got painting. Um, I try to be encouraging. I don't criticize or give advice unless you specifically ask for it. So um, I will be very excited about whatever mini you post, provided it's not too unhinged, I guess. But the Discord command should work in YouTube. Maybe it's not. I don't know. There we go. All right, it worked. It worked. The Nightbot on YouTube is just a little slow. But yeah, we had a great community there. Yeah, it waited just for you. That can't be true. How many casinos? I know. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Isn't that crazy, Avelios? Yeah, the odds are ridiculous for that. It doesn't sound right. The odds for a deck of cards. Pin your Gorkanaut right now. That's cool. I haven't painted a whole lot of orcs. I painted the kill team. It was the commandos. A lot. I painted, I think, 3 of those. I want to say maybe 4. I painted it 4 times. I painted that a lot, but otherwise I have not painted orcs. I really like that kill team though. It's really fun. It's unrecorded. Possibility of it happening is there. Yeah, of course. Yeah, the possibility is definitely there. You know, it might be that thing with like birthdays. You know, like if 20 people are in a room together, there's a 50-50 chance that 2 of them share a birthday. Even though there's 365 days in a year. It's just the number of combinations in a deck of cards is so great that the odds of it happening is extremely low. Painted a purple one and they keep disappearing. Oh gosh, no. Well, have you ever seen a purple orc? That's the I legitimately did paint a purple orc commando team, and I think it was one of the most fun I ever had with the commission. Me and the dude were just like laughing, coming up with like what's going on, you know. And the lore we came up with was you know, there were purple orcs. And so obviously they're really good at stealth. They're commandos. And one of the planets they were on, they infiltrated, was a human planet. And they saw the humans hunting the local fauna. And one of the things the humans would wear while they were hunting was bright orange vests. So, orcs being orcs, assumed that the humans knew something about camouflage that the orcs did not. And they assumed that bright orange, like the big safety orange vests, made the humans more stealthy and made them better hunters. So the orcs started wearing bright orange vests. So they're purple orcs and they had bright orange vests. All of them had bright orange clothing on, like hats and everything. And that was their stealthiness. Use purple base coat. Oh, it's a great shade color. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, purple looks good under green. Still working on the first guy with these highlights. The Mark IIs take a lot longer. I have 2 Mark IIs and a Mark VI. So we're just running through here. Curious if orc abilities affect other people? Like, are Blood Angels faster on orcs? That'd be really funny. I think they do, right? Because isn't that the whole thing with Yarick? He was so long-lived because the orcs believe he was. So I imagine if the collective belief is strong enough and held
First of
by
all,
enough
let me
orcs.
take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into your home.
Hey, thank you. Was that a subscriber on YouTube? Thank you so much for coming in. Welcome in. For those on YouTube who just found me, how did you guys find me? I'm curious. I'm trying to keep track of this. Was it like a recommendation thing, or were you like looking through like Warhammer or painting streams? Also, if you have a good gaming story, I could use another story here. I'm going to be forced to share one of mine. Why don't certain factions imprison orcs to make use of their belief abilities? Maybe other factions don't understand it. Okay, orcs to believe you won the Powerball this weekend. Did somebody win it? I heard it was a lot of money. I don't follow it, so I don't know. I waste my money on Warhammer, not lottery tickets. Found you on the For You page. Well, that's cool. All right. Thanks, YouTube, for getting my my channel out there. I guess that's nice of them. Hoping no internet problems today, but you never know. I have many issues. So, few people split it. Okay, yeah, just cash 900 million. He called it, yeah, I didn't yesterday. Mainly because I was really busy. Right after I got off stream, I was just running around and I forgot until it was like, I guess not too late, but I was already into all kinds of other things. But also, like, the internet was okay yesterday. It did cut out on me once, but, you know, today I have time that if something does go wrong, like if the problem isn't resolved, because they've been out here, the actual service provider's been out here working on communication lines and stuff, so I'm not sure if they recognized something was going on or what. I believe EXO happens, kind of overstated. Yeah, I imagine it's not something. Warhammer pays back better than lottery tickets. I agree with that. Yeah. When was the last time you got your equipment switched out? Like January. I moved over to a new provider. I think it was January. It was a Sunday night before stream. And our internet had just kept cutting out. It was so bad. And then, like, yeah. I was like, you know what? I'm going to look into other providers in the area. And, you know, we have a couple providers in our area. And decided to switch. And everything was great. And, like, I'm still not completely convinced that it's the internet either. That it's not like Restream or something. Because Restream has been kind of weird lately too, so. All my orcs have lore. Yeah. That's the way to play. I think when I get more established into like 3.0 heresy, I want to divide my army up into like detachments and make lore for them. And yeah, I want to be able to field them like that. You know, like the 7th support detachment, tactical support detachment for, you know, the 8th Fellowship, 1,000 Suns, and then, like, you know, I put down the minis on the board, and just kind of like something simple for me. Twitch only stream and see what happens. Yeah, maybe, but not with these YouTube, all these lovely YouTube people coming. I don't want to leave them out now. My stream right now is 50-50 split between YouTube and Twitch, which has never happened before, unless it's like one person in each, like when I'm just starting up or something. So. So, a more recent gaming story. One of my kind of favorite moments from playing Horus Heresy, and I was at a tournament. So I don't like seek out tournaments for this game. I don't really do that anymore anyway, because competitive mindset kind of eats at me. But there's a store not quite next to me. It was somewhat close to me. Had a team tournament, or like a doubles tournament is what it was, for Heresy. And it just so happened that a friend of mine had been building an army that coincided with my army as a really nice ally. So I was running my 1,000 Suns, and he was running, it was the Solar Auxilia, painted as the Prospering Spire Guard, which are like the Solar Aux they're the Legion's Auxilia of the 1,000 Suns. So we coordinated paint schemes and basing, and like our armies matched each other and coordinated. And we're like, this is our moment. We've been doing this for like a year, and we're like, this is our moment. Let's do this tournament. So, we go to this tournament, and there were maybe, I don't know, a dozen teams or something. Like it was pretty decent size, really cool terrain and everything. And it was just 3 rounds, and we played, and we're like, you know, we probably won't win. Like 1,000 Suns weren't really any good in 2.0, and Solar Aux were just like playing 1,000 points down from your opponent every time. So, you know, playing with 2 like kind of less powerful factions, you know, we wanted to play our best. We didn't take like a super strong list, but we wanted to like actually play and try to win when we're playing. So we get to a game, we play against an opponent or a group of opponents, and they took an army that was all deep strike. I think the one guy had a tactical squad, and a Rhino was his only thing on the board that started. The other guy had everything in drop pods, and yeah, that was a Salamanders player, had everything in drop pods. The Blood Angels player had it was called Day of Revelation, which is an army where it all deep strikes, and you choose the turn and the spot and everything. It was a whole ordeal. So first turn starts, and they deep strike the drop pods in turn 1, because they have to come down in turn 1, and they just stuff us in the corner. And the only victory points for this are like a single point in the middle of the board that moves randomly each turn, practically each turn. So we get stuffed in the corner by these drop pods on turn 1, and we're like, oh man, like this is bad. Like you never want to be stuffed in your deployment zone playing these games. You know, it's like a corner deployment zone, and like they kind of, Yeah, they just kind of shoved us in the back there. So what we do, we pretty much like, well, I think we lost this game. We probably did, but let's try. Let's see what we can do. So we found like a little gap. So the drop pod opponent brought this like crazy Death Star Terminator squad that was like basically immune to being killed as much as you can be in that game, with like all the things to just make them like complete beat sticks. Well, one thing they weren't immune to was pinning, and I had a psychic power that would pin a squad really easily. So he drops him down to kill something, and then I pinned him. And so they were stuck for a full turn just standing there twiddling their thumbs, doing nothing. And I was like, you know what? I was like, we have a gap here. I was like, that gap can do something for us. So we made a convoy. I had a Rhino with a tactical squad in it. And he had a couple of like small tanks. They were called Caradons, I think is what they were. Like little like light auxilia tanks. And I put the Rhino up front, and he had his 2 Carnodons behind me, and we like convoyed out of our deployment zone past that Terminator squad while they were pinned toward the objective. And the Blood Angels player probably would have been able to stop us when he dropped in, but I took a, kind of not off piece of tech, but just a, a little safeguard piece of tech that basically when someone deep strikes on you, there's a 50-50 chance that the deep strike gets like disordered. And a disordered deep strike means the non-deep striking person places the minis on the table basically. And they can go really far away from their initial drop point. And I was like, you know what? I'm scared this one guy's going to be here playing Blood Angels. And turns out it was a different guy playing Blood Angels I was going to be there. And I was like, I want something. We don't need like everything to handle the potential deep strike, but I want some kind of like, tool in the kit. So the guy deep strikes. It was going to be right in our face, and they were just going to stuff us more in the corner, and they were going to win the game. Well, he rolls, and his 50-50 was disordered. So I shove his minis to the back of the table. Hey, Flotsam and Sir Stroming Fish. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. So I shove all of his jump pack units and his jump pack dreads and all these things all the way to the back of the table on the like opposite corner of the table. And his army is out of the game for the next like 3 turns. And then on top of that, I had a dreadnought that could throw fireballs because psychic dreadnoughts being Thousand Suns. I made a wall of fire right where his like max movement was for his jump pack units, and put the wall of fire down. So if he jumped his max distance, he would land in the wall of fire and start taking damage. Disordered sounds like Maelstrom. Yeah, I can't remember if I ever played Maelstrom. That's like you roll when you like walk on the board edge, right? Is that what it is? So we were in the process of cleaning up the Salamander's army while the Blood Angels army was out of the game, but they were still up by a ton of victory points. So we had that convoy that moved out, and I was able to get my Rhino up. It blocked the objective from the opponent, and I deployed my squad to capture it. And then basically he couldn't make it to the tactical squad that was holding the objective to get them off of it, while I scored points, and we just it just turned into a shooting gallery at the Blood Angels because they didn't have any long range weapons. They were all jump pack dudes with swords and spears and everything. And we had solar auxilia tanks and long range engagements and stuff like that. So yeah, we just shot them to death and held the objectives and ended up winning the game after that. The convoy thing was probably the coolest thing I think I had seen in a Heresy game in a really long time. It was fun. It felt like a creative thought. D6. Okay. 2 to 4 your opponent places. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's a little like that. Yeah. So won that game. And yeah, it felt good. Don't have to bring an overpowered list, but if you have tools to, you know, potentially deal with the threats you're going to face, that's the way to write a list. We were also the only people at that tournament with armies that were themed with each other. So that also felt good. I was very proud of that. Do we have an experiment? Thumbs up this stream, see if it matters to the algorithm. Oh dang, okay. We don't do we do that here? I don't ask people to thumbs up things. I don't know. If you guys want, that's cool. I will tell you guys, whoever's sticking around, every month I do a giveaway, and what I do is I paint a mini on stream. So I'll just find a random 40k Age of Sigmar Warhammer mini, whatever. I'll find a mini. You did night. That's fair. That's fair. And I paint it, and I paint it in one stream. So 3, maybe 4 hours or so. And then I draw a name at the end of stream, and that person, I send them the mini. Free of charge. You know, there's no you know, charge. I just need to be in contact, you know, obviously to get information to ship it and everything. The way to enter that is to just show up to the stream and just comment. Be a subscriber or follower, however it is, like, you know, in the respective platform, the free option, the respective platform, and just say hi. You know, say hi, tell me how much you hate Space Wolves, something like that. You get your name in the stream. Now, there is a way to get an extra entry, and the extra entry comes in the form of being a patron of, you know, I guess on my Patreon. So being a Patreon supporter, any paid level gets you a second entry. And, you know, it's the Patreon is the reason that I'm able to go, like, buy a mini and, you know, and paint it and everything. So, like, that's the reason I do that. So they get an extra entry into it, on top of some other things. Yeah, we don't like Space Wolves here. So sorry if that's you. But yeah, if you're a paid member, you get an extra entry. Your name goes on the wheel a second time. And, you know, you get my thanks. And we do other things Patreon too. Wednesdays are our hobby hangout is what we do. So every Wednesday we hang out in Discord. It's just a chat, like a voice chat, and we just sit around. We're all painting minis or, you know, doing whatever and just chatting about random stuff about life and everything. So it's a lot of fun. We do that Wednesday evenings at 8:30 to 9 is our start time. We normally go until about 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, if you're wondering. Why you go Veteran Flame and Plasma with Chainsaw? Not bad, especially with the Salt Set Claws and Hammer. Can go well. Okay. Are bikers a good choice for Night Lords? Yeah, I think they're okay. Bikes do benefit from Legion rules, and Night Lords have a very strong Legion rules, so I don't think you would be terrible. I think the worst thing about bikes is you don't get like Vanguard on them, right? For some reason, bikes don't come with Vanguard. However, I don't know how well Vanguard synergizes with Night Lord's rules, because Night Lords rely on units having statuses, and units having statuses don't hold objectives, and if you're not holding objective, you don't give up Vanguard points. So there's a whole thing. Yeah, fast units that do damage are good. Okay, let's get his helmet, and then we are done with this color. Can move on to some others. I played a little bit of Space Marine 2 last night. I got my Tactical Marine, Tactical class up to level 25. And I got my first, like, purple main weapon. Wish I did that was the heavy bolt rifle, was what I've been messing with. I actually got a groove finally at work, and my PC decided to just stop. Oh no. Oh no. You went to Night Lord's Army. You have 40k scheme. May choose to play 30k instead of 40k. Yeah, I think 30k is more enjoyable, honestly. I'm telling you, Dunder Snuff, you should just gone home. That's what needs to happen. Alright. We finished that color, right? Because I didn't do the third one. Oh no, I only did 2 of them. I didn't even do the third guy. Tactical's fun. Yeah. Yeah, Rubrique skin would make sense, right? Because they're kind of already in the game. Alright, let's keep moving. Magnus did nothing wrong. Thank you. Thank you, yes. It's funny if you think about the thing that Magnus did wrong, like warning the Emperor about Horus's betrayal and all that, like if he just would have sat back and let it happen, everything would have been all cool. But since he actually tried to help, then all of a sudden he's doing things wrong. The lesson here is to never try. Tried your best and failed miserably. The lesson is never to try. Yep. That's the lesson that Magnus taught us. That's the lesson Tzeentch tells us. No. Simpsons is the most quotable show. Salamander's a little upset they decided to remake Vulcan Histon instead of making model for Tushan or Chapter Master. Yeah. I mean, Vulcan Histon's super cool, though. The new detachment seems really good. Post-apocalyptic game, welcome in. It looks like what they're doing is going through the Space Marine detachments from the Codex and just revamping them, right? And that was the Firestorm detachment or whatever it was. I get it. I wish more Space Marine chapters had characters, but also, you know, like, Space Marines get so much that it's hard to be like, man, Salamanders need 8 characters before they feel like they're a proper army. When Dark Eldar are over here drowning without a single new mini, or new release, new unit in 15 years. Hey, Zen, what's going on? So we get a new Raven Guard mini. Initially thought it'd be a cool Dark Angels kit bash, but Pete the Wargamer's kit bash video, I've thrown the idea out the window. Why is it like difficult or something to kit bash, or just have weird stuff on it? Horus Heresy Thousand Sun. It is a Horus Heresy Thousand Sun. Yep. Yeah, this is Mark II Tactical Marine from the new Saturnine box. And I printed a couple bits, put it on them, adding things in. Welcome in, Like Ike. How you doing? Dark Eldar are getting Lady Malice, and they're getting a new Archon mini. The Archon already has rules and has already had a mini since, you know, forever. Lady Malice had rules in 5th edition and was taken out in the 7th edition Codex. So she is not a new unit. It is a new model, it's not a new unit. But Lady Malice is the closest thing to a new unit that Dark Eldar have got since 5th edition. Yeah, this is a sergeant, yep. Painting up the sergeants today. I'm going to try to finish them today and then see what we're going to start on next. It's not difficult. Just a lot of the uniqueness of it doesn't fit the Dark Angel. Okay, yeah. Oh, I have no idea. No idea what it is. Is this a horse girl thing you guys are talking about? I don't know. I'm just kidding. That joke is old. It is a horse girl joke, isn't it? It's a horse girl thing. I knew it. Right? Yep, it's a Japanese racehorse. I called it. I called it. Fifth is crazy. Your wife's a Dark Eldar player. Yeah, yep. Yeah, not since 5th. They have not had a new unit since 5th edition. They've actually lost units every single edition since 5th edition. I can pull up my 5th edition codex and show you guys just how cool all the units are in that book. It's incredible. It's my favorite 40k codex. A lot of super cool Salamanders characters either get retconned or changed or killed off. Yeah. You know, that would be cool. Just like a massive, like, giant of a Space Marine. Wouldn't they say that? Is it Tybros? Is that the Carcharodon guy? He's also kind of a similar way, right? Demons aren't getting a codex. I'm sorry, Dunder. I think they're gonna slowly phase out demon stuff from 40k is what it looks like. At least a lot of like generic demons. You got to move them over to Heresy if you want to keep using them. Jakar just happy to be acknowledged. I mean, I want new stuff for him. I don't even play 40k. I'd be excited to get new Drukari stuff. Print Shop does incredible proxy for Tybros. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I bet the cost would be astronomical if it's probably outside the US. Yeah, Heresy does get all the best stuff. Yeah, I agree. Did you guys read that militia PDF codex? That's got to be one of the best rulebooks GW's put out for an army. Everyone stopped being interested in playing 5th with me. I think people are just doing other things right now, Velios. I'll get back into it. I'll jump back into some 5th sometime. Oh, it was expensive before tariffs. Oof, yeah. Hope you like your minimum $80 additional charge. Yeah, the Mandrake model kill team's good. I will say the classic metal Mandrakes from 5th edition were also incredible looking. Those minis, like, that was like the thing that put me over the edge of getting Dark Eldar back when they were coming out. When they showed those minis, it blew me away. So I have 10 of those metal Mandrakes. That I never stopped loving. You like your Alpha Legion to have warp mutations or not? I'll see someone's great paint job in detail that fits Chaos Spawn more than anything. I don't really have a preference. I mean, I know some people are very much sticklers on I have Iron Warriors so they don't get mutations or whatever, but I feel like Warhammer is a big enough universe that you can have both. Like, I'm sure there's some Alpha Legion that's just very much where, they act like undercover operatives and that's what they are, and so mutations are bad and they don't really care for chaos and that whole thing. And then there are other Alpha Legion that are just completely chaos pilled and all in on the dark gods and everything. Blood Bowl 3 coming soon. Yeah, Blood Bowl will be really cool. If there are loyalist Night Lords, anything's possible. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just remember, loyalist doesn't mean murderous or good guys. Hands, got the legs, got the torso, we just need the backpack. Alright. Iron Warriors aren't quite as split up. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. But I mean, you still get demon mutated Iron Warriors, right? Because they do that to each other. They just do it as a prank on each other or something. That's New hobby nights. I'm currently working on a Stampa, and I'm dragging my feet on it. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, we do. So the hobby night is it's a Patreon thing. So any paid member, it's as little as $1. It's $1 a month. You can come hang out with us on our hobby night. Just Wednesday nights, and it's about 8:30 Eastern to whenever we decide to be done. It's normally around 11 o'clock when everybody either goes to bed or one particular Dutchman is waking up and has to get ready for work. So my favorite successor chapter or extinct Space Marine Legion. I think my favorite successor chapter is the Blood Ravens. I'm a little partial to the Thousand Sons anyway, and Blood Ravens are strongly hinted at being Thousand Sons successors. So, that's cool to me. And, they got cool stories, and, I love Dawn of War. I still love Dawn of War, but loved it when I was, younger and everything. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's probably my favorite successor. Favorite extinct Legion? I don't know. I guess technically extinct, there's only two, right? It's just the 2nd and 11th, but they don't really have lore. So... it's just kind of what it is. Okay, we finished that color. I'm gonna get a drink of water real quick, guys. All right. With this dark neutral gray, I saw a couple places that I need to put down this base color again. So let's do it. Just put a drop down. Get out my highlight here. Get a smaller brush. Let's start with you. Okay, let's see. I think that's good on him. What do I do with my free mini Space Wolf? You put it on the base of another mini that you actually like, and you paint it up real nice. But then you lay it down, and it's dead. That's what you do with the Space Wolf. Yeah. What box should I covet after next for my 40k Thousand Suns? You have 20 rubrics. I think the best box for the Thousand Suns is the Exalted Sorcerer box. It comes with the 3 sorcerers, and they're just like a solid box. It gives you like tons of extra pieces and everything. I have never purchased one. I don't play 40k Thousand Suns, but I have always been told that is a great box even for the Heresy Thousand Suns, because it's just straight up bits. You're just getting tons of bits out of it. So yeah, I mean, it seems like a good idea to have a couple characters and to get an idea how you're going to paint your characters, right? So better to start on them than to start on someone like Magnus or Aramon or something as your first character that you paint. You posted Tyros in general? Alright, cool. I'll take a look here in a minute. Okay. We got that. We can highlight that gray. Let's take a look at Shark Daddy. Oh, yeah. Definitely is Tyros. Those are cool, cool lightning claws, though. Oh, is that Major Kill, though? Is that who that is? It is. Ugh. Ugh. Do better, Blue. You can do better. How can I not think of using it as dead meat? Thank you. I'm gonna rip it off the wolf stuff. Oh, I mean, hey, that works too. That works too if you gotta do that, but... Yeah. Well, no, the it's not the name, it's the creator. That's the issue. Yeah, it's Major Kill. You know, even the guys like weird personal beliefs aside, he's known to publicly attack people and send his fans after them when they criticize his work. So, yeah. He also has a lot of very strong views and opinions. I know that you would have some serious issues with. Theory Space Marine 3 will have Emperor's Children. Why do you think Space Marine 3 will have Emperor's Children, Night Trap? Yeah, so don't feel like you're missing out, Blue. You're this is for the best. Time to find another proxy. If you really want one, I could probably find an STL for Tyros. Let's get to this guy. Yeah, Crucial's on YouTube. Got a lot of people on YouTube. So YouTube's doing pretty bumping today. It's pretty cool. Also, hey Raja. I don't know. Then what happened? So I'm not gonna call out like personal beliefs that people have and that they share because they're things I disagree with other people wouldn't. But one thing that I think we can all get behind that's a pretty cruddy move is that he came out with his first mini. It was like an Emperor of Mankind. I don't know if it was an STL or just a print that he sold or something. And, people were getting them and people had mixed opinions on the mini, and anybody who had negative opinion he would send his fans after. He would like call them out in videos, and his fans would go and harass the people and stuff, and for like not liking the mini that he made. And I feel like he really cultivated that kind of like attitude around his fan base and everything, which is not healthy and not cool, and it's very just not good in general. Yeah, like some suppressors. Oh yeah, the suppressors that GW doesn't make anymore. Just wait, dude, they'll be out of the game in 11th edition. They won't be in anymore. Discord forbid someone try to target people. Yeah, it's crazy. He used to make really funny videos because it was like Australian guy cussing and talking about Warhammer. And he got like bigger, and it turned into like, I'm gonna be shirtless while I talk about Warhammer and everybody's gonna see. And then it just kept getting weirder. So I stopped watching him when he started doing his like, when he started showing his face. Like I don't care to like stare at someone's chest while they're talking about Warhammer lore. Like that's not something that I need. So name anything I have bad experience with, even if they're wrong. Yeah. You have 20 viewers, yeah. If it was just that, that'd be fine, because like I wouldn't watch him, and whatever. Okay, the guy makes cool minis or something, and then that was kind of the end of it. But yeah, it turned into way more, way worse. Yeah, I have no problem just not watching stuff I don't like. Like that's totally cool. There was a Total War creator doing that too. A big Total War content creator. Just doing weird stuff like that. Just trying to get their name out there, The only chest you want to see when watching Warhammer is the chest of the Emperor. Yeah. Played by Henry Cavill, right? Like that's first couple heresy books describing. Yeah. You guys have never seen Mystic Amethyst Minis Instagram, have you? Yeah, I don't know what's gonna who's gonna play who in that series. That is a really good question. Okay, finish these gray highlights. We're gonna get to these magic things soon. What's been your most involved kit bashing? Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. I've made some like characters out of just like spare bits and stuff before, but like that's probably the most like the craziest kit bashing I get. I don't like, I don't turn tanks into demon engines or whatever with like conversions and everything. So yeah, so like this mini here, the legs and torso are kind of one piece. They're four pieces, but it's monopose. The head is Mark 6 and the backpack is Mark 6. Everything else, this is most of it's 3D prints. So the tabard, this arm, I think this hand is from the Mark 6 kit, maybe that hand too. Maybe those are 3D prints as well. The shoulders are from the Command Squad box. The bolters from the Rapier kit. The Rapier battery kit. and like that's a kit bash mini. But Horus Heresy stuff, like you can kit bash so much, like that the whole game is made for like kit bashing between all the sets and everything. And it's so easy to find 3D prints for specific Space Marines and Space Marine chapters and legions and everything that it's pretty easy. Hold on, we'll see what kind of kit bashes these other guys are here. Yeah, kit bashing itself isn't something I do a lot of anymore, just because I have a 3D printer, so I don't need to like find a bunch of workarounds to make a specific mini. If I can find an STL for it, or if I have an STL for it, I'll just print it, and that ends up being easier for me. So this mini, he's all Mark II, except for the 3D print. So I don't have pieces from extra kits on him, but his helmet, the tabard, the shoulder pads are all helmet, shoulder pads, yeah, and the tabard are all 3D prints. Get a painting. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the compliment. For almost 2 months now. It's getting better. Yeah. I mean, I would say I'm a good painter. I am not like a competition level painter. So I don't participate in painting competitions. It's not my thing anyway, but I've been doing this for almost 25 years, since I was like a young teenager or preteen even. I found minis and started painting, and I painted on and off, but I didn't like get really serious about painting until just a few years ago. I would just paint to get armies on the table and stuff. Yeah, and I think people getting into the hobby now improve their skills a lot faster than people when I started. It's not going to take you decades to paint as well as I do. Nowhere near that long. When I was a kid and I got into painting, the way you found out new ways of painting a mini were from White Dwarf magazine articles. And even then you would see them, and their articles were very basic, and they did not show high level painting in these articles. It's very simple stuff, like here's how you dry brush, and they would show just like some mook like dry brushing, but it's so easy to find like actual explanations and techniques and everything now that yeah, I think people just improve. People want to paint for like the sake of improving their skills and everything a lot more now than they used to. So yeah, I think you have a lot of advantages that weren't around when I was at that point painting minis. I didn't know how to dry brush until like 3 years into painting minis. Maybe not that long, maybe 2, but when I discovered dry brushing and learned that I could do it, I ended up deciding to collect a whole Warhammer army based on that fact, that army required a lot of dry brushing. And the army was Dark Elves for Warhammer Fantasy. It's like a weird piece of something on his tabard there. Tried doing anything with a vehicle. Anyone seen Adrian Smith painting they used for Thousand Suns? No. The 2000s codexes. So I'm thinking the 2000s era Thousand Suns were like very dark blue with like yellow trim, right? Is that right? They're super deep blue. For right now, I paint until they're tabletop ready, but I don't edge highlight or anything. Yeah, and edge highlighting is something that it's really like scary, right? Like you feel like you're gonna ruin your mini. Like I can't get the lines thin enough. I don't know if I put it in the right spot and all that stuff. If you start doing it, what you're gonna learn is over time, you're just gonna get used to how to do it. Like it's a weird like skill that you just kind of figure out. It just kind of clicks and you just start doing it, and then you got it. But it does take practice to get there, to figure out where these highlights go, like what colors to use and those kind of things. It's definitely a skill to learn. But highlighting is one of those, like the only way to learn it's to do it though. But you don't have to do it on all your minis either. You definitely don't. Dry brushing is a great alternative to highlighting. Those are the skills that's super useful, but also makes the model look dusty if not done properly. Yeah. Who are you calling dusty? Take offense to that, Velios. As far as painting vehicles go, dry brushing is the way, especially when it's like marine vehicles. You can knock out marine vehicles so quick with a dry brush. I hated painting vehicles, and when I discovered I could dry brush a vehicle and get it done, I loved it ever since. I don't know if what I'm doing is going to look any good or not. We're just kind of doing it. Sure, Valios. Yeah, but no, I understand. No, I have the issue with the dustiness too, and yeah, it's that's where the like that whole like dampen your brush and everything kind of idea comes into play. But that's hard to do as a just getting into it as someone new. Green basing with gold trim, silver in the chest. Oh, okay. So I'm not sure. It's in the 10th coat, so they call it correct. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Multiple shades of gray to dry brush. Yeah. Yeah, undershading is really nice, definitely. I use a wet palette. I have my this is my Masterson's Stay Wet palette. I have little inserts, little copper inserts, but there is my paint sitting on my wet palette with parchment paper. The Masterson Stay Wet palette is the way to go, though. It's cheap. Replacement stuff is cheap. This thing's lasting me years. You toss it in the dishwasher if it starts getting nasty. You take basic care of it, it'll do well for you. Go for it painting. What's up? How you doing? Welcome in, man. We're chilling. Got stream going on YouTube and Twitch. As a subpar painter yourself, Evelios, you're definitely not a subpar painter. Yeah, dry brush to give yourself an idea like where the edges are. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. It's like a utility dry brush. You toss your wet palette. No, not the sponge. No. The sponge is a disposable asset. That gets thrown away after, when it starts to get moldy. Which takes a while. The little copper things are apparently antimicrobial. Not completely, but... And normally when I replace the sponge, I toss the Stay Wet palette in the top rack of the dishwasher. I'm not using pure white in here as my highlight. I'm actually using white blue. Is this color here. It's got just a nice cool shade to it. It's just the slightest like tint of blue. I like that for the tabards. Normally tabards I want them to look a little warmer, but I think for these Thousand Suns I think it's a nice difference. Especially with that Payne's Gray wash that we put on here. What kind of squad is this? So, Night Trap, these 3 minis I'm painting right now are sergeants. They're tactical marine sergeants. So these are just some sergeant minis I made for my tacticals. Yeah, and that's it. That's I just wanted some minis that were more like WYSIWYG with how I field my sergeants, which is with bolters, and I wanted them to stand out a little more. So my other sergeants, they had extra trim on their armor and stuff on their shoulder pads, and that was tough to see from the tabletop. So I wanted white shoulders on them. They all have Thousand Suns helmets with tuning forks on them, or something extra big. I gave them little tabards to make them a little stand out, and I gave them bolters because bolter sergeants are the way to go in 3rd edition. And then 2 of them are throwing magic spells around because you can do that now. My sergeants can actually throw magic. Okay, do get just a little more here, and then we'll start doing this magic stuff. So I'm going to get some bold titanium white. Yeah, I'll probably make another 2 or 3 sergeants in this form here. The white paint in the eyes. All right. While I have that white, I will just start getting a base coat on this. I'm going to carefully start putting white onto these magic pieces here. Considering it a box of line to make more las rifle sergeants. Yeah. Krieg Sarge's a bit sad. Really kind of better for... Yeah. I agree, Avelios, yeah. I kind of felt the same way. I just had a good opportunity with, you know, getting 50 Space Marines dumped in my lap here with this new box set. So oh yeah, yeah, I'm keeping an eye on that guy. He hasn't posted anything new in a while, but yeah, he made the Iron Warriors. I don't know, everybody freaks out about the Iron Warriors Auxilia. Look cool as always. Thank you, I appreciate that. I added up my my total army points as new recruit is basically fully updated, and I got my militia, my solar auxiliary, and my thousand suns all pointed out, and my total collection stands at about 14,000 points for heresy. Not the biggest army out there, but I mean, 3,500 of it is militia. About 1,000 of it is my solar ox. Let's get a smaller brush. Try to work our way in. New recruit is great for making lists. Yeah. New recruit all day in the Heresy 3.0, they also added a section called collection. So if you're making an army, you don't have to select like a crusade detachment or whatever to start. You can actually select collection, where it just gives you an option for all the unit types, and it doesn't give you like error messages. You don't have to add detachments or anything. So it has like a nice way of keeping track of everything, which I love. This is a new feature they just put in like 2 days ago. Okay, I can show you guys something crazy with this. I'll try something crazy. We're gonna paint this one. I want these to be like fireballs. Is that too crazy? Maybe the other one will be like blue or purple energy or something. I should paint this one before it looks too much like sperm, because it's kind of a weird shape. And that's not what I want these guys throwing at people. That's more of an Emperor's Children thing. One of the goals is collect Primarchs, and for the line, I'm making the Watchers throw him a birthday party with the cake. Nice. Party hats and a balloon line's gonna still have a grumpy face. Yeah, that's great. That's cool. Does he cast magic missile? Yeah, so the unit sergeants can throw magic spells around. They can use magic weapons when they shoot instead of their regular gun, which is really cool. And 10 times out of 10, the whatever magic missile thing they're throwing is better than their bolter. So, and it's kind of comes with the unit. So It's a no-brainer. Like, no point in giving them a combi flamer when you can just throw magic for free. Save the points. I'll do a quick second coat. All this after the first coat, and then we'll I have some dry brushing I want to show you guys. We're gonna do some reverse highlighting with dry brushing. I'm gonna try. I've never done it before, but I had the idea because normally with glowing things, you know, like they're brighter in the middle, and then the color gets, you know, more vibrant or deeper as you go out. So we're gonna try to mess with that and see if we can get it to work. Actually, it's a warp missile. Okay, yeah, sure. Who needs a gun when you have fire? Exactly, yeah. Magic costs mana, yeah. Not in 3.0, it doesn't. Yeah, in 40k, it's magic with a K, you know. All right. A bit of a blank spot. Yeah, we're gonna try it. You tap a Solar Rock Squad, which gives you 2 mana. Yeah, man, that was second edition rules, and it was great. The second edition rules, if you had Prospering Spire Guard with your 1,000 Suns, and your 1,000 Suns suffered a Perils of the Warp and took damage, instead you would pass that damage on to the Solar Auxilia squad. So they were just batteries getting burnt out while the 1,000 Suns were just going nuts with their powers. It was great. In 40k 1,000 Suns, it costs Cabal points. Yeah. No, in 30k, it's basically like... so I pay like 10 points per squad, and I get to choose... 1,000 Suns have unique like Psychic Discipline, so I get to choose a Psychic Discipline for the squad among 5. There are 5 different cults, different disciplines, maybe 6. I know there's 5. Some of them have weapons, but all of them have like 2 things. Most of them have a weapon and a power. Some of them have 2 powers. Some of them have like a power and like a gambit. Like there's different things that they have. The powers themselves, a squad can only use 1 power a turn, but every turn you can use a power. And the weapons, you know, only 1 person in the squad can use a weapon. So that's, you know, that's like kind of, you have to choose what you're going to use. But yeah, you pay a few extra points just to have the like privilege of having the abilities. Which I like. It makes the army a little less, or a little more unique and like less, you know, numbers focus, I guess. And yeah. Now you have a we fail together abilities. Yeah, it's true. Oh man, yeah, the Solar Auxilia's ability, the Prospering Spire Guard's ability, what it is, I keep making my opponents really mad with my 1,000 Suns reactions. But if they kill, it's like 25% of your Auxilia squad. You can trigger this reaction, and it basically means your Auxilia squad and the enemy who shot at them suffer a Perils of the Warp. And so they basically take like 6 to 7 unsavable wounds. Or like no armor save wounds. They take invulns, but it'll just outright kill a character. it could kill a dreadnought, like one shot a dreadnought, or some big robot thing. Yeah, it can do all kinds of stuff like that. So lots of fun. Yeah, we're just gonna wait a minute for this to dry. You know what? While it's drying, let's do something else. Take some Striking Scorpion Green. 30, yeah, because it is. The newer edition of 30K changed a lot, so it's not so like, it's not as nostalgia driven as previous editions, but yeah, it's still like, it has templates and units running from battle and stuff. It definitely feels like what 8th edition 40K should have been. Like if they didn't revamp the game, like this is what 8th edition 40K would have been doing. That's a thing I need to get as well. Remembering these little things in these minis. A bit less weird writing. Speaking of, did you see my message a bit ago about Gorka Morka and Locked in Combat? Yeah, you said you think they took it from Gorka Morka, like the Locked in Combat language, which is wild. Like that's a crazy pool of like old rules. It really is like just every old Games Workshop game like mashed into one, isn't it? No, I agree, Night Trap, yeah. That was people's big concern when they started seeing stuff like damage characteristic on weapons and stuff, was that it was turning into 40K, and I saw a lot of like drama about that as well, but it is definitely not the case. Like it's its own thing. You know, it has its own problems as well. It's not like a perfect game, but yeah, it's definitely its own game though. Okay, so here's what I'm going to try to do. This might turn out really bad. I'm going to take Bright Warm Gray, and then I'm going to take Warm Gray, and then we'll take, where are you? Somewhere over here. Dark Warm Gray. I'm going to dry brush these on this magic here. I'm going to start with the Bright Warm Gray. I'm going to do a heavy dry brush, and then I'm going to go brighter or darker and darker as I go lighter and lighter on my like pressure on the brush. Just don't think it was 100% fleshed out for units and vehicles. Yeah, maybe not. Yeah. I think those rules are a lot more well thought out than people give them credit for. I think it's always easy to say, like, LOL, GW can't write rules, like, look at this dumb thing, but I really do think that they were working on this edition for a while, and they were trying to make it as clear as possible, and you know, trying to lay out the book so it worked well and everything, but I'm sure there are, like, time constraints that happened, where GW needed a big summer release, and, like, last year, maybe this time last year, they're like, hey, we're putting this set out, like you gotta have your stuff ready, which probably messed with a lot. But yeah, I think as far as like a lot of these like written concepts in the game, I think they know what they're talking about. And they didn't like happenstance into like weird rules interactions for a lot of the time. Well, GW, it's usually corporate. Yeah, exactly. And you know, like, yeah, and I would agree with that. And like, I am all about hating corporate GW. Like, by all means, guys, you hate away, because corporate GW does some terrible things, and they are, you know, big evil corporation. Like, that's a thing. However, you know, people complain about things like, you know, they want Heresy to have all the plastic minis, but they don't want Heresy to get new rules. They don't want corporate GW to be involved. Yeah, that's a classic on here too. That song. The problem is, like, you know, people don't want to buy the rules. They don't want to buy the things, but then they want the game to have all the support. It's like, this is how you give the game support. Like, you want people to write the rules and come out with the books. Like, this is how you support the actual writers. Like, there are people that care about this game that are writing rules for it. Like, this is how we, you know, as much as it sounds cruddy, like, you know, you want your game to be supported, you have to be the one supporting it. If that statement made any sense whatsoever. Yeah, we're getting some of this dry brush on his hands, which is nice. That's what we want. Again, I have no idea if this is going to look any good. We're just, we're experimenting right now. You guys are cool with that. I think I'll do some like blue magic on that weapon. All right, dark warm gray. Just do a tiny bit. Really light with this. Another second, maybe say screw it. I'll buy the book and put the code in the app. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I agree. I agree, Avelios. Yeah. And you know, I don't mind. In the end, like, the people that had like crazy backlash against 3.0, because it seems like enough people spoke out to where it affected something. I don't know how much it affected in, you know, the studio or whatever, but it affected something, to where they, you know, they changed up rules, they released things, they were making it so like they were being, you know, like, I guess, catering to what people were calling for. And I appreciate that. Like, I'm not one that's gonna go nuts and just start trashing everything, unless it's like Age of Sigmar or something, or Space Wolves. But yeah, I don't know. Something seemed to work. Okay, so we're gonna take this Talisar blue. I love this color. Excuse me, Talisar blue. I'm gonna mix it with. I think I might just do. No. I'm going to do glaze and wash medium. So we're going to do a thick medium here. This like gel medium. You know, I got to say, at the risk of jinxing it, my stream has not cut out once today, and that's been really nice. Yeah, well, let's see if this works. Again, I have absolutely no idea. Might need to thin it down more, or maybe a thin coat is just what I want. Let's see. This is about, I don't know, 50-50 medium and Talisar blue. Yeah, it's probably just a little too heavy. I think what I'll do, I'm going to put some flow improver in there. Just to, help it flow. Yeah, everybody just starts putting F's in chat, yeah. Yeah, I think if 3 years from now, Heresy is getting another edition, like, I'm gonna have a rough time with that because I don't want the 3-year edition. But who knows? Maybe in 3 years, everybody's gonna hate this edition so much, like, the big toxic combo is gonna come out and like everybody runs it. But that's also not how like Heresy players play for the most part. So I don't know. But yeah, it could always end up being a thing. Compare. That's a little brighter. Bunch of coats on there. Yeah, we'll try it. Why not? Be able to ask ourselves here if this made any difference. Our lighting. Difference Heresy from 40k game rules. It's completely different. There are a couple of familiar elements, like what damage is on weapons, but even damage works differently in Heresy. It's a very different rule set. Okay, well that's pretty wild. I think what needs to happen, I think it needs to be more stark. Rules are forever. Yeah, that's true. We're simplifying, but it'll be simple. Yeah, it's true. That's very true. It's closest to 7th edition 40k. That's true. Yeah. Play 3rd edition. Yeah. 3rd edition 40k. Yeah, just keep telling people I'm playing 3rd edition, but in reality it's 3rd edition 40k. Not sure if I love it yet. I don't hate it, but I'm not sure if I love it. Let's give it a little bit of time. Let me do something real quick. So, Gloomy, you never played like 7th edition 40k. So like there's things like templates to mark like blast weapons and flamethrowers use different templates for like to see where they hit. Vehicles don't have toughness and wounds. They have armor values and they have hull points in Heresy 3.0. So it's like they still kind of pseudo take wounds, but it's different, and their armor values are really tough. It's basically like minimum toughness 10, and they go up to 14. But no other units in the game go above toughness 10. Like toughness 10 or toughness 11 doesn't exist, but armor values start at 10 and they go higher for vehicles specifically. They're armor facing, so hitting a vehicle in the front, it's harder to damage it than if you hit it in the rear. Morale is a lot different, and 30k actually has 4 morale stats for your units. There's leadership, cool willpower, and intelligence. Based on what you're doing, you might change up like what stat you use to test. So being a Thousand Suns player, I test on willpower a lot because it has a lot to do with like psychic stuff. Tech Marines, repairing things, those kind of things are definitely a lot more on the intelligence side. Cool is like, not getting suppressed or pinned. So there's a lot more like leadership mechanics in the game. Can't go back to the Super Old Edition of 40k. Can't be convinced to use a vehicle targeting array chart. Yeah, I'm not about that. Okay, let's mess around some on this mini then. And here's what we're going to try. I'm just going to go right for my mid-tone warm gray. Just try to hit a couple of these raised edges. Okay, and let's get this dark neutral gray, or dark warm gray, sorry. Try to go even lighter. Oops. Now I could spend 5 years going through and manually highlighting everything on here. But you know what I really don't want to do? I really don't want to spend 5 years going through manually highlighting everything. So we're going to try to do it with dry brushing. I like finding efficient ways of painting my minis. Sometimes it doesn't work, but if I can get away with it, I'll do it. Yeah, I think my problem with this one is the blue is too deep. It's too... I didn't thin it down enough. I should have went really light on the blue, but that's okay. We'll let it dry. We'll see if we want to do anything. I don't hate it. So, okay. What we want here, we got 2 colors. I'm not sure what to do. Recently finished Fulgrim audiobook. I don't know where to go from there. Thousand Suns. Yeah, because once Fulgrim's done, it's kind of open, right? You can do a lot of different things. But Legion is an amazing book. That was probably my second favorite book. Thousand Suns was great. I read Thousand Suns like 4 times at this point. So, and that's the book that really turned me into a Thousand Suns fanboy. So, okay, I think I'm going to go with Iandan Yellow and not the orange. I think that's probably the way to go here. But we're going to thin it down a bunch. That's what we have to do. Highlight the spell with the purple. Yeah. That's true. I have to think on that. Think about it. Okay, I really like Iandan Yellow, and I hardly ever use it anymore. So, this color out and try it. Use a smaller brush here. I'm using a lot less contrast paint in here. I want a much thinner paint. Let's see if I got it thin enough. Oh no, let's do a little more. Yeah, it's better. Okay. Nice thin color. Let's see what we can do with this. Yeah, it's just gonna look like it's dry brush. That's the thing. And I wonder if finding another color to put in here. See, at this point it just looks like it's kind of dry brushed in. I think I like this less than the blue I just did. Okay, so we tried something. I think we can salvage it, but this is definitely not something that's working. This particular one. The blue looked better. Maybe the blue would have looked worse if it were brighter. Okay, well, let's start with that and then see what we want from there. So we'll hold on a minute. All of these minis are on temporary bases, by the way. I already have their bases painted and made up. So I also forgot to get a little something here. let's let that go. Do not like it. Do not like that. That's still drying. So that's all that's drying we could do. Another small step here. My dry brushes are all super ratty. Yeah, maybe just the full yellow would have worked better. So I thought about just hand painting the flames. You start with like a white underneath and you build up into deeper colors. I was hoping I could avoid a lot of that. Something we could do while we're waiting. Get some transfers out. Let me see if I can't just... Yeah, it's a perfect one. Okay. Get some water. Get a knife. Straighten your back, relax your shoulders, unclench your jaw. Thank you, I appreciate that. I did just take a nice big drink of water. I have a in there, parchment paper. I have a daily requirement of water for myself, and it's not a gallon, it's only 64 ounces, which I think is half a gallon. Sorry, this paper doesn't want to go in there. Okay, we're good. But on my gym days, which is my Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I have been able to pretty easily meet my water intake before I start stream. So I've been doing good with that. Always appreciate the reminders though. And I learned about myself years ago. This may have been about 10 years ago or so. I would come home from work and I'd be so like mad or just upset or like frustrated with something that happened at work, and it was like it was difficult for me to just like relax. And I realized after a while that the way I was able to relax was to just start painting minis. Like I would just hang out and paint minis and sit down. It didn't have to be any particular thing, but if I was just sitting here like just at my desk, maybe listen to some music or a YouTube video, and I was just painting, like I was good. Sometimes I get lost in my thoughts, but other times it's just going with the flow, enjoying what I'm doing. And yeah, it's been definitely my like relaxing thing for the past, it's got to be about 10 years or so. Yeah, I think for some people it's stressful to paint, and I understand that, but yeah, for me, I'm fortunate enough to where it's always been like a kind of a zen thing for me. So if I'm stressed out or upset or whatever, me just coming downstairs to my workspace and just getting some painting in was always something that helped. Dry, you. Dry. Fix this. I think I know what I'll do. I know what I'll do. Okay, I have it on this. Next thing I do, I'm waiting for a transfer here to separate. It should be about separated. We'll do this. We'll put one more coat of paint on this piece, and then we'll kind of see. I'm using this product called MarkFit. It's a decal solution, and you may have heard of like Microsol or Microset, and those are two products that use in conjunction to put transfers on products. Now, I like MarkFit because it's just one product, so you don't need multiple products, and it works exactly the same. Come on, decal. I know you can get off there. Go. There we go. These forged transfers are rounded, and you'll see how annoying this is. Hey, Killicam, what's going on, man? Ignore the urine yellow magic spell for now, please. I played some Space Marine last night. I got my my heavy bolt rifle to purple, so that was my big thing. So, and I picked one. I guess I could pick any of them, unlock any of the 4 choices. But I picked the one. It's just straight up like better damage. That's all it does. That one to me seemed like the best value. Like, I don't think more ammo per magazine is great, or like extra range doesn't seem super relevant. I picked the one that just punches harder. So it's all creased up. You might be able to see it. You see it's all creased up and everything. It's not level on there. That's where this MarkFit comes in. Just coat this mini. This stuff. And over the next 3, 4, 5 hours, it's going to dissolve that plastic and lay that lay all that transfer, all the actual ink on there really nicely. About ready. We're going to do a second coat of Iandian Yellow, but we're not going to thin it. I'm just going to go straight Iandian Yellow. And then I think the key with this is going to be coming back with highlights and highlighting up in some of these like important areas. So I do think the highlights will probably be the way to go here. Much as I didn't want it to be. I tried something new. Didn't work. It's okay. Might mess with these minis this evening, kind of on my own. I have the time, maybe during the hangout tonight. Hey, Cam, what you up to today? The whole hobby's trial and error. That's exactly right. Yeah. Yep. And I don't mess around with new techniques too often. I'm kind of a boring painter, but you know, when I do, I fail, and we learn stuff. Okay, at least now with this pure Iandian Yellow, it's got like sort of a fire look to it. I feel like we can work with that. When the time comes, of course. $30K Thousand Suns, yeah. You got Armon as a whip? Oh, sweet. Is it 30K Armon or 40K? Sat down to work on Logan's base. Nice. All right. Not great. I missed a spot. Dang it. Okay. Let's just get a smaller brush out. 40K. Okay. Okay. Very nice. Well, welcome in, Yarmighty. I painted that Aramon mini. This is pretty fun mini to paint. He's sitting on a little display shelf at this point. I never use him. I don't play 40K Thousand Suns. But I got the OGs here. Okay. So what I have here is like not a horrible use of the flames, but I need to do a lot with this. So this is going to be probably not highlights, but I'm going to start working outside from the recesses, and I'll start like putting in deeper colors, maybe highlights down like toward the tails. We'll say it's like brighter there or something. Is that how it works, or is it? I don't know, but we'll see. We will see. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get us a someone to raid here. Okay. Yeah, let's go raid Mystic Amethyst minis. Let's go say hi. So, she's a friend of the channel. Cool stream. She's an incredible painter, so ask her to show off some minis. I'm sure she'd be more than happy to find her like Sweaty Magnus or something and show it off. But yeah, we're gonna go say hi. All I ask is that you guys actually, like, you know, join in the raid, say hello, you know, give the creator a follow, you know, just show some support, and we'll go do that. But I do want to say thank you guys for Yar Mighty. I have bases. Yeah, I have so many bases painted already for these guys. I'll show you tomorrow. Okay, if you want to stop by tomorrow, let me know, and I'll or you can go on my Discord. If you join the Discord, !Discord, I'll pop it up and you can jump in and check that out. But I do want to say thank you guys. Thanks for coming to hang out, and let's go say hi, and then you guys have a wonderful afternoon. And thanks, guys. Thank you, and I'll see you all tomorrow around 11 a.m. Eastern. All right, bye everybody.